Right, guys, just generally want to have a bit of a rant and do a bit of a general update on what has been happening lately. Three main things. I think just recently had another game with Cassius. Only lasted a couple of turns. It was circle against circle. And what ended up happening there is that I was against Mosar, and Mosar teleported his way over to my side of the board first turn before I could activate my druids and put counter magic up. And then he just crushed a whole bunch of them, including my Lord of the Feast with Crevasse and his spray. So I went out with Cassius a turn later and tried to kill some of his Bloodweavers by, I think, using Hellmouth on a Shifting Stone or something like that, and killed a bunch of them and then feated, but of course he found a way of getting a Gorax right in next to Cassius by using a double teleport stone trick, which was really cool. So that's a battle report that I didn't really have, time to sort of do in full. Not much happened anyway. I got smashed again with Cassius, but again, not learning my lesson to keep him a bit safer than I would really ideally like. But recently I also went to a little mini event for War Machine Hordes. It was at Guardcon, which is a major event for Warhammer Fantasy and Warhammer 40k in New Zealand. But the War Machine aspect of it was a small-time affair with just battle boxes. My friend Chris was the organizer, and he basically made it cater for the newer players who had recently joined over to the new system. And I think there were 9 people in total. I was going to play the Pikaya battle box, but I didn't really want to, especially since my friend Greg was also playing Pikaya. So I opted to play for Gorton, which is a battle box that Chris owns, and it's quite nicely painted. But when I showed up to the event, it turned out that 2 other people were playing Gorton as well, so I asked him if I could swap back to another faction nobody else was using, but he wouldn't let me, so I played all 9 games with Gorton. Interestingly enough, he chose to have some of the flag scenarios in the event, and Gorton is just way too powerful in the battle box situation when there are scenarios, because what he does is he feats, puts you 8 inches away, he scores the objectives, and you're slowed down, you can't get back onto the objectives very easily. So the 2 games that I played against the other 2 Gorton guys, I lost. One of them wasn't because of that, it was because I forgot to allocate focus to my jeweler, forgot to use Gorton's activation after, feeding his caster, his other Gorton, into range of my guys. It was just a big brain fart there. And the other loss was basically against the other Gorton player, a player that I normally never lose to, but, he beat me just because he, had a turn before I did to get to where he needed to do the feat first before I did. Bit of a highlight for the weekend, though, was meeting up with my friend Ian, who plays Legion of Everblight, and he won the Battle Box event because he's probably the best player there. He only lost 1 game, and it was against me. I used the Gorton cheese to basically take him away off the objectives, but he didn't see that coming quick enough, so didn't plan for it, and he lost. So we had an immediate rematch, just as a friendly informal rematch, where I played P. Denegra with Crix, and I beat him again, which was quite funny, but Denegra's pretty awesome in Battle Box format. But then we played the game that both of us have been waiting for a long time, which is the 50 points. My Circle army with E. Kruger against his E. Thagrosh list, and close game which he won. His Striders shot up my Druids pretty badly. Didn't do a battle report of it, of course. And later on I left E. Kruger out in the open with no Fury camped on him, and I didn't realise that Stormwall would not affect sprays, so obviously Thagrosh sent Typhon over to kill me. But me and this guy Ian have been wargaming rivals for about 17 years. I've been playing Warhammer Fantasy for the last 3 years, and never get a chance to really play him because he plays War Machine, I played Fantasy. But now that I've come over to the new system, I was hoping to play him quite a lot, but with his family he hasn't had much time to play. Which brings me to the next significant piece of news. Ian's also a guy that never paints his miniatures, ever. So I've borrowed his army, and I will be painting it for him, and in fact, I pretty much got most of it done in a day. Some of it was already painted by another person that was helping him out. But I will be borrowing his Legion of Everblight models and his army to use for basically the next 2 weeks, and all of my games are going to be with Legion. I'll be playing mainly E. Thagrosh, but I'm going to be trying out some other casters, Saren, E. Lilith, maybe Ryas, Absolonia, and that's going to be a lot of fun, so look out for my battle reports coming up over the next week. I've booked tons of gaming in. I'm pretty much playing a game per night of whatever I can, so there's going to be a lot to do, a lot of action, a lot of fun games coming up, so hope you guys stay tuned. Just having a look at some of the images, you can see I've got basically the Striders and the beasts painted by somebody else previously, but I've touched them up with some highlights. And for the Raptors, and this Thagros himself, the Black Frost Shard, I've essentially used what I like to call the Mike Thorne treatment. Mike Thorne being a Warhammer player who basically finishes his big Empire armies within the space of 2 weeks because he just spray coats them white, then washes them with Devlin mud, and then paints over it. I've basically done the same, except I've used a bit of a Sermon blue wash as well for some of the colouring in there, and just done the bases very basic with black, grey, and white highlights. So more about Legion coming up. I'll have a lot to say about them soon, and keep your eyes peeled. I'm going to be doing some battle reports and taking you through it. It'll be a great break from Circle, and it'll give me a chance to learn about Legion, since there are no other players that I know who play Legion except for this guy Ian, who never plays me except for that one-off occasion. So that's just going to be a great thing. See you guys soon.